Oh my god, it's my boy, Crash Bandicoot! Hey there, chamas y chamos, welcome back to another episode of Álvaro Dev Labs. Today we are gonna play around with 3D on the web. That's something that I wanted to do since a long time ago, but I never had the chance to actually use it. For this episode, we are going to use Trois.js, which is a version for Vite and Vue. It's a wrapper for the well-known library of Three.js. Three.js is a pretty well-known library that allows you to create cross-browser 3D animations and a lot of cool interactions with 3D. Loading models and so on. Here, for example, in the page for Three.js, you can actually see a lot of examples. They are really cool. This one, you can see how performant and really beautiful things you can do with this library. So in today's episode, we are going to focus on a wrapper for Vite and Vue that is called Trois.js. This is following the French notation of all the technologies around Vue. Vue, as you know, is Vue in French. Also, you have Vite that is fast in French. So Trois is just a translation directly for Three.js. Here is the repository. As you see, it's Vue.js plus Vite. And in the documentation, there are pretty much a lot of examples, okay, that you can play with. And basically what it does is that it has some predefined components that you can import into your project and just start right now with the 3D without any complications. So that's pretty cool. Let's jump on it. First of all, let's create a new repository. I'm going to use as a template my Vitesome. Vitesome is just a template of Vite that is really an opinionated template for my site to use Vite with several plugins that I use the most. So every time I want to do something quick, I just use this template. It's public. You can check it on the link below and use it every time you want to start a project really fast. You use Vite, Vue 3, Windy CSS, which is another library based on Tailwind, component auto importing, and a lot of more stuff, especially the icons. So we're gonna do that, and here I'm gonna create it Trois.js example. Create repository. Let's zoom in a little bit and look for AS GitHub. And I just git cloning it. So code here. Git clone. Okay, we open it in our VS Code. Yes, I trust the authors. Perfect. So we install the node modules with the package JSON. I have a plugin that directly detects if I have installed the node modules and try to install them. Okay. Okay, I think it's pretty much done. And here, well, it's already served in localhost 400. So here you can see the basic stuff. Now let's install the plugins. So here I'm going to open a second terminal and just use yarn add. It's going to add a specific version of Three.js and the library Trois.js. In the meantime, let's check how we need to import it. So yeah, we have a Vue.js 3D project, and we are going to do it like this. Don't use the plugin if you need rechecking and TypeScript support. So yeah, I guess there are two ways of actually importing the components. You can do it by a plugin, or you can import them directly here. So for tree shaking, if you have want to have a better performance, it's better if you actually import the components directly, which is going to be how I'm going to do it, to be honest. So let's go back to the code. I guess it's already installed. And we're going to go to the main page here. I'm going to remove this part, yeah. And I'm going to, yeah, basically erase all of this here. We're not going to use it. I'm going to here, okay. Same for this. Cool. So let's use the example that is here in the web to start with. I'm gonna copy and paste this render and camera scene and some other minor components like point light and box. And let's see what happened in the code. So here I'm going to copy and paste. Salud. Dinero. And remove this here because we are not gonna need it. Also, there's remove the dependencies. And since we didn't import it with the plugin, we will need to do it manually. So here I'm gonna copy and paste. And this one here, and the components. So let's see what happens if we go here. Okay, we have something rendered, but it's pretty small. Could be because of this. And also in the render, I guess we need to use resize, which is a property, and we put it to window. So this one should make it bigger maybe. Yeah, okay, now we have a full screen stuff. So we cannot control it yet. This is basically a canvas, as you see. So whatever is defined here, Trois.js automatically creates the canvas with the whole Three.js scene and all the things that you put here, like the camera, point light, and the box in this case. What I want to do is being able to control it. So maybe there is a property. Let's go here. And in render, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. So it has a lot of them. Enable orbit control. This is the one we need. So we go here and we set orbit control to the render component. This should allow us to move around. Let's see. Okay, now we can move around. So this is like a really basic example of things that you can do with the Three.js. So let's see what else can we do. We could add, we had the point light, and we also could, I don't know, add an ambient light here. And I guess we could change the background here to another background. No, it's in the scene. So right now it's black, right? Let's use background here. And let's put another color. I don't know. Let's change it to white. So FFF. Okay, so now it's white. Perfect. Before continuing with anything else, let's explain something that is really important that I just saw in the documentation. Is about the render loop. So basically, Trois.js launched a request animation frame loop to render the scene, and it has a way that you can access and add event listeners or the functions here only for render and different events. So you can, for example, move the box around and things like that. So let's do exactly that example. So we're going to use template ref here. The example is not using the composition API, but easily we can transform that. And let's say the render has a ref of render, that's totally fine. Here, render it. Okay, so basically my Git Hub Copilot already gives me a result. Okay, return render. Okay, cool. What else do we need? We need another one for the box itself. So here we take the box that we were using here. I don't know why my Prettify is not working. Maybe I had to turn it on. And we're going to do exactly the same here with the const. We are going to create one for the box. I would prefer that is box in minus here, here. Okay, so now we have the two reference, and I'm just going to this box mesh. Okay, well, simple enough. So we add a listener here for the render. Maybe we need to put value. Render object is possibly no. Yeah. Well, this is this one. And box mesh. Yeah, box mesh. So it's probably going to be box value mesh. Yeah, let's see if it works. I don't know. Yeah, no, it does complain about something. So cannot read properties of no. Okay. So you mean you cannot here? Okay, with the option I changed, it did work. This doing something? Oh well, maybe, yeah, Alvaro, maybe you need to put the rotation. Well, see what happens. Okay, so the first one, it does do something, but it doesn't seem like it's actually updating anything. So since the example is, I'm gonna put it here, is using mounted, so maybe we need to do it on mounted. So I'm going to import on mounted here from Vue as a hook. Let's see if it's imported. Okay, yeah. And let's add this inside. Maybe with this it will actually render it. Expect we have an error in the syntax. Maybe it's this one. Okay. Okay, now, okay, we need to do it on mounted. That's cool. So you can see that we can actually animate with the render loop and change the rotation of the cube itself. So I've been playing around a few hours just to check what I can do. I managed to do this kind of texture with the ink image on the cube, and also create some sort of planet that is rotating a lower speed. And also I managed to put like a background image. So just quickly, I'm going to show you more or less what I have here. This is not the project, wait, this one. Here, for example, I created a sphere. Okay, it's another kind of mesh. So in the beginning we used the box one. This is a sphere, and I just put a basic material inside. So this component, what it does is that you put a texture in like this one, and you can put an image, for example. So here in the public, I have this image of ink with colors, and I just put it to this one. Same here for the sphere. In this one, it has another attribute that is the radio of the sphere, and it looks kind of good. Also, whenever you want to have like a background that is not a color, okay. We had in the scene, we have a property was the background. I removed it, and because it doesn't accept any path, so you couldn't do something like this, like background, and then say yeah, a space dust, for example, it will not work. So in order to have like a background, you can in the renderer component you can set the alpha to 0, and that will allow you to have a transparent background on the whole canvas in order to put a background. So here in the app, the container, which is a space, I just put the background image and it's working perfectly. So I'm quite impressed about the amount of stuff that you can do. Let's go back here, and in meshes you can see all the meshes that you can use, like box, circle, cone, cylinder, yada yada, tube, and all the props that you can use. So it's pretty cool. In the code, if you're interested, you can see also the code, and it's like a basic component that is mesh, and then depending if it has more properties that differentiate from others, they create a specific component. So it's pretty cool. What I want to try right now is actually check how reactive are these properties, right? Because some of the difficulties that often happens when you're doing this kind of components with 3D, or in gaming, for example, if you're doing a game loop, is that the things are not really reactive. It's another way of thinking. It's just a loop that is continually running, and then you change the variable. So I'm really curious about if we can modify this using a form, for example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I'm going to create like a panel at the right with some inputs to modify, for example, the box rotation, no, but this one, the position of the sphere, for example. And we can also do it for the box. So let's check how we're gonna do it. Okay, so basically I created this like dialog here where I'm changing with this form. I created a dynamic form. It's available on my library for dynamic forms on Vue. Okay, it's just a component that you pass the form fields here, like number fields, and when it change, you assign it to a variable here. So I want to check how reactive it is. Right now, the position of the sphere is -10, -10, -10 in all the axes. And let's just try it out if by modifying the form values, we have a reactive property here. So this will be a sphere position X. This is going to be a sphere plus Y, and sphere. Don't judge me by the poor naming convention. I'm going as I go. So, okay, let's see if now it's working. If I change this to 0, yeah, it's reactive. So actually it updates the position of it in the X. Let's see, in Y. Okay, nice. And see that, okay. -20. That's pretty dope. So basically all the properties here, you can make them reactive and change it on the on here. Let's try another thing. For example, the rotation. Rotation is set it up here, right? Let's put something that is called const box rotation const reactive 0. No, I want to be a ref. Okay, and let's put this ref value at the beginning. Okay, and box value here. And I want to see if afterwards I also can modify this. So we're gonna create another variable, another field here in the form, and we are going to call it box rotation factor. Box rotation factor. Let's set it on the beginning as the same value that we have in our place. Yeah, okay. And whenever we have it here, we're going to say box rotation value to values box rotation. Okay, pretty dope. Let's see if it works. So we go here, now is this one, and if we put it 10, it goes crazy. Okay, that's pretty cool. So this is how you can do like the properties of the components in 3D. You can change, you can make it reactive as the position of the camera, maybe the lights. So you can create a nice. Okay, this is making me nervous. I'm gonna reset it. You can create like a control center here and modify stuff. So these are the basics of using this library, Trois.js. Let's try something else. Let's try to load a model into it. For this second part, we're going to do something more interesting, is loading a Gltf model into our render. So what is a Gltf model? Is just a format for 3D that is really performant in transmission. So it's really useful for 3D on the web. To get one, I normally take it from this page, which is Sketchfab. It has a lot of cool 3D models. Some of them are free, so you can play with them. In this case, I'm going to look for one of my childhood heroes, which is Crash Bandicoot, and let's see if we can find one that is actually free, which this one is, I think, is free. Yeah, this look pretty cool though. So this is done by Pollo20. It has a CC attribution. I'm going to download it. Yeah, with Google. So let's download it. And you have to download it in this auto-converted format, Gltf, I think it's called. If you want to know more about this format, you can check it here. There are a lot of examples, but this is for me, it's my favorite format to use. So let's download it. We open it. It comes in a zip file. So basically, whatever is inside, which is the SN being the SN Gltf, which is the model and the textures, we're gonna copy all of them, and we're gonna paste them on our project folder. So probably in the public, where I have also here. So let's create here another folder called models. Okay, and revealing Finder. Okay, and let's put Crash Bandicoot and put it inside. So I'm going to call the scene Crash Bandicoot. And let's go back here, and to be able to upload this kind of models, we go to models in the documentation, and they have this component that is called Gltf model. So let's copy and let's paste it just nearby. For this example, I created another component of Vue in our application called model.vue, and also I create another route in here that goes to separate. I will upload this repository so you can check it in GitHub. So we go here. I'm just going to use onReady. Okay, so in the setup you can create a function called onReady, which has an event, I think. And let's just console log that. Now we need to return this to use it here. Okay, cool. So we need to put the path. In this case, the path is in public, so we only need to put models is Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot.gltf. Let me see if I put it correctly. Here I have a typo. Okay, also, before it doesn't work, we have to import it automatically here and define the component. Okay, let's see here. Bam! Okay, so we are okay here. So cool. Let's see what else can we get into it. Let's go here. Search for another one. Let's put downloadable. There are a lot of cool stuff here. Has Matilda. Let's unload this Porsche. It has been done by Carol Miklas. So let's download it to test it. The same format also. So we open the zip. And let's just copy and paste it on the same place as before. And let's go here, and instead of Crash Bandicoot, let's copy the path. It's basically Porsche. Let's see. Okay, and let's see. Let's refresh the page. Okay, here it is, but it's kind of dark though. So I learned that to be able to see it correctly, because right now it's like metallized, okay, and that's why the GLTF model is so dark. So if you come here and on ready, you pass the model, and you basically what you need to do here is use the transfer function, and if this is a mesh, it changed the metalness, like how metallic the model is, and supposedly this make it less darker. So let's try it out. Still kind of dark. Maybe it's because the lights that we have here is not in the correct position. Could be. Let's try another number here. I kind of see the same. Okay, but it's a matter of putting the lights in the correct position. It's quite cool that you can import a 911 Turbo Porsche, like really vintage. So that's pretty much it for today. I had a blast creating this 3D stuff with Trois.js and Three.js plus Vite. It was really cool. I hope you learned something new. If you do, please leave your comments about what you think on your video. Feedback is always welcome, and please subscribe to get more videos like this. Let me know in the comments. So see ya!